UFC 318, Poirier versus Holloway 3 is over, and overall it was a very good card. Not worth $80 for a main card, though, for the pay-per-view. The main event was a very good fight outside of the last 10 seconds for a BMF fight, for what they've been, when, Holloway pointing down to the middle and then something crazy happening, because Dustin hugged him, but we'll get into it right after this. If you want to make some money and be like our guy MMA Joey here, who won the group this week, he will be winning $100 now, since we are now at 100 subscribers. Speaking of which, I will now be live streaming each weekend for the cards. I'll be doing fight companions. It'll probably be with friends for the most part, outside of when they aren't here. We'll be doing pretty much all the guys who have fight picks in this group. Well, not all of them. They are all guys who do fight picks in this group. So it'll be familiar faces every time. But yeah, if you want to join the fight picks group and potentially make money, now that we're at 100 subscribers, it'll be $100 until I monetize my channel and, grow larger to where I can afford adding more money than that. I really can't afford doing this, but it is what it is. I'm just going to have to win more often. But you will go to tapology.com/groups/2048. Join the group, make your fight picks, and you will have an opportunity to win the $100 now. Like MMA Joey 69 here did. Great username, by the way. Also great picture and everything. Anyways, we'll get back into the fights. UFC 318 is now over, and overall, like I said, it was a very good card. I just wouldn't have paid $80 for a pay-per-view, if you know what I'm saying. This was a very good fight night for me. So, I enjoyed the card for fight night price. Holloway kind of schooled Poirier over the 5 rounds, with Poirier landing some heavy shots in between. Poirier still seemed to land heavier overall, but Max had some actual real sting to his shots this time, whereas Poirier could kind of walk through all of his shots during their last fights, other than when he just got overwhelmed by like a ton of volume with the combinations and everything. Max was able to hurt him with 2 punches or 1 punch, when then he would throw a combination. He looked really good in this fight. I would love to see him, get a real step up in this lightweight division. I wouldn't hate seeing him up there against a guy like Saryukian. But I know that's going to take some time for Saryukian or for Max to come back after a fight like this, because he took some serious damage. Dustin looked great. I love the retirement. I hated the rap song they had during his retirement package. The first little package they played was actually more emotional. It kind of, it choked one of my friends up in Discord. What, the fucking loser he is. Although and I'm the Dustin Poirier fan. It was weird. It's really weird to hear him, get all choked up about it. Even though I'm the Dustin fan. What a loser. Anyways, Dustin looked really good to be 36 and have had the injuries he just went through during the Islam fight. There were very scary moments. I was worried that he was going to get, flatlined in this fight, and I'm glad that he didn't. I'm glad that it went to a decision and we got a long fight for Dustin's final fight of his career. And it was a very good fight overall. Although I do have to complain about the very end of the fight. Dustin pissed me off with the, once you agree to the point down in the middle, I don't care. You have agreed to the consequences. You have agreed to the consequences. You've then signed a contract, and you need to walk into the middle swinging at all costs. The only one that, he landed the cleaner of the shots. He just got overwhelmed immediately. Uh, so him cowering out was him tapping out, in my opinion. This should have been a submission victory for Max Holloway. Dustin was a coward in his final moments, and it's what I'll always sadly remember. No, I'm just kidding. I love Dustin Poirier. He's genuinely one of my favorite fighters. I've watched him since he was on Fightville. Watched him since the WEC. I watched him beat the dog shit out of Josh Crispy as his debut in the UFC, and against a guy who was supposed to be fighting for the title, and Jose Aldo pulled out of the fight. I'm pretty sure that's what that fight was. Anyways, yeah, Max Holloway schools him overall for the majority of the rounds. He lands good shots in between, but Holloway just pretty much wins every single round outside of the round where Poirier almost finishes him. In my opinion, that was Poirier's most dominant round. I would like to see Max Holloway get a guy like Islam, but I need to look at the schedules and really make a fights to make after this video. Moving on to the co-main event, we've got Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. This fight went to decision, and man, this was vintage Paulo Costa. This guy, he did everything he said in the interviews he's been leading up to in this fight, and I should have trusted him, but it was one of those things where I felt like I can't pick Paulo Costa until he shows me I can pick him again. And now, he's shown it, man. He looked incredible. He was first. He was attacking first every time. Kopylov very rarely had any moments of success in this fight. I thought it was pretty much a 30-27 decision. I thought Paulo Costa could have really got him out of there if he had wanted to. Incredible performance from Paulo Costa. He's back, man. Him just being first was just so important for him. He looked lean too. I mean, he always looks lean, but he looked trimmed down and fast. I think that was really important for him, honestly. He looked good, and he was actually harming his opponent. He didn't look like he had rubber bones for his density anymore. Kopylov was getting hurt by his strikes rather than whatever it used to be that Paulo just didn't have the thudding impact like you'd think he did. It was like he would wink, wink, wink. Whenever he would hit you, it wouldn't do anything. Now he looks really impressive again. I love how he looked. Maybe all this training in different areas has made it to where he's learned how to really sit down on his punches properly. I would love to see him get... You know what? I want to see him get Izzy again. I think it's the proper fight to make. It's the step back up, and Izzy's been on this downslide. I think that would probably be a good fight to make. I mean, I don't know how the timing would be for him and how he's feeling right now, but yeah, I think that's a good fight for him. Moving down to Daniel Rodriguez defeating Kevin Holland by decision. Man, this is one of the fights I thought was a lock, and I just got proven horrifically wrong. D-Rod landed clean on the chin, and it was one of those things, man. I watched Kevin Holland get hit by so many other shots that were bigger and landed heavier than the shots that D-Rod landed on him. It wouldn't surprise me to see D-Rod test positive again after this, by the way, because he has tested positive in the past, and he did look a lot more quick and, decisive on his moments than normal. But I'm not going to just chalk it up to that. Kevin Holland also looked like shit, to be fair. This was locked in Kevin Holland, too. That's what's crazy, so I guess this is just the level of Kevin Holland. He made JDM kind of not struggle, but he forced a split decision somehow out of judges out of Kevin Holland, yet he gets throttled by Daniel Rodriguez over and over. It was just a very confusing moment. Also, I have a bone to pick with Kevin Holland and his fight IQ as well. Um, I know I'm not the one in there fighting, but Holland, you can't jumping knee him when you can't even land them on him. You needed to pull him down into your knees. I don't know what you were doing, jump kneeing. You had the clinch and you were just jumping up and flailing around your knees, not even getting close to actually landing them. And even if you had, they would have had zero impact. And that gassed you out because you threw 2 or 3 of them in the third round, I think, after you hurt him pretty bad. Dude, your fight IQ was horrible in this. You could have finished him in that moment had you just landed a couple knees from the clinch, like just grabbing him, clinching, and pulling his head down and kneeing. It was just so frustrating to watch, man, as a Kevin Holland fan. It's just one of those moments where you hate being a Kevin Holland fan because of it. Dude, he's so good, he's so talented, and then he just has a performance like this, and it pisses you off, man. I know he's better than this, but this is what you get out of him when he's locked in, and then when he's like not caring against some other guys, it just works. I don't know. Daniel Rodriguez isn't a good fighter, or isn't a great fighter, but his blitzes looked so bad, man. That's what makes me mad about this. His blitzes look so bad. He was sitting here like doing this, blitzing forward, just throwing the same hand over and over in this like geriatric manner. And Kevin Holland was just sliding out of the way, but never counter-striking it. Not getting hit by it, but when he would throw a right hand finally, D-Rod, I mean, he would land on Holland, and it affected him. But, like, Holland just never tried to counter-strike those, like, geriatric punches of him. It was very frustrating to watch as a Holland fan again. Moving down to Patricio Pitbull defeating Dan Ige by decision. We're in the featherweight division. Ige had a very bad performance, but Patricio just kind of had that Cheeto Vera performance where he like grapples a little bit, barely does anything strikes-wise, lands one strike that hurts his opponent, and wins the round. Ige could have gotten this by decision had he picked up his pace. By the way, I have a bone to pick also with Eric Nixick. Horrific coaching on this card. Eric Nixick went from like coach of the year when he won that with Sean Strickland winning the UFC's belt to just bad calls. At least on this card, they were horrible, dude. Him sitting there he told Zellhuber that he thinks that he needs to win round 3, which Zellhuber needed a finish at that point. I don't know what is wrong with him. And he tells Ige, I think you need a finish. You might need a finish, maybe. It's like, no, dude, you need a finish. You need to be pushing the pace hard to get a finish at this point, Ige, because you're down 2 rounds and going into the third. But Nixick had no urgency at all. Like, it's not just on Ige. It's on Nixick, too. Like, yes, Ige should have known, yeah, I'm down. I need to get a finish here. But there was no urgency in his corner either. They were like, I think you might need a finish. No, dude, you need to tell him he needs a finish now. You need a finish now. Like, we need to get this fight in a manner to where we can finish it. We need to do everything we can to either pressure him out at finish or force him to make a mistake and knock him out for it. It was a bad performance by Ige, but also just a bad performance by Pitbull. I don't know who to give him next, but it wasn't a good performance from either fighter. I don't care to see either of them fight again soon. Moving to Michael Johnson defeating Daniel Zellhuber. Dude, Michael Johnson's speed is still a problem, and Zellhuber. Sorry. The last fight was so bad it put me to sleep. Literally in the main card during the actual event too. I actually during the second round closed my eyes and nearly fell asleep, and one of my friends woke me up yelling. We've got Michael Johnson versus Zellhuber. He defeats Zellhuber by decision. Entire main card decisions, by the way. Just I did terrible on the main card. Did great on the prelims, by the way. I fell apart completely on the main card. Did not get a single fight right. I would have picked Max. I wanted to pick Max, like, mentally. I would have picked him. But I had to, as a Dustin fan, honorarily pick him for his retirement fight. But I will not hold that against myself. So, like, I went 0-5. It is what it is. On the main card. Zellhuber just didn't box, man. When he actually threw his hands, he was doing good and wasn't really getting countered all that often from Michael Johnson. But, you know, he just threw kicks from range to the arms and didn't do much damage other than that. Michael Johnson landed some heavy shots, nearly finished him at one point, and then kind of just threw from range. He was much quicker than Zellhuber, but Zellhuber, when he would throw his boxing, like when he would throw his hands, he looked good. He was quick. He wasn't counterable by Michael Johnson, really. I think Zellhuber's going to really kick himself for this. So will Nixick. Nixick is not he's not the only one to blame, but he is to blame too. Nixick should have told this man he needs a finish, but it's on Zellhuber too, man. He should have been throwing his hands and trusting his hands a lot more. He was really landing on Michael Johnson when he was throwing them. Moving on to, for one, my fight of the night prior to the Dustin fight happening. I think they should give out a fight of the night for this one too. Vinicius Oliveira dismantling Kyler Phillips after the first round. Man, he just walked him down the entire fight. I love the way Vinicius fights. This is my favorite bantamweight prospect right now. I love the way this kid's fighting. I mean, now he's a ranked contender at this point, so like beating Kyler Phillips means something in my opinion. I think that Kyler Phillips is one of these guys who his skill set's really good. His footwork was really good. It's what prevented him from getting finished, in my opinion. I think that his footwork is what kept him out of the complete danger of the fight. Vinicius was landing heavy shots, and had Kyler not been moving very well on angles rather than, forward and backward, he was cutting angles rather than just moving straight back, he would have gotten finished because Vinicius was landing some vicious shots, but he was having to track him down rather than, just walk him down. He was walking him down, but he was still having to cut him off rather than just go forward and backward. Vinicius Oliveira looks incredible. I can't wait for his next step up in competition. I hope he gets a guy like Song Yadong. Maybe he gets the winner or loser of the Piotr Jan versus Marcus McGee fight. Maybe that's what we get. I'm hoping so. No cap. Stupid fucking hair. But yeah. Hopefully we get the winner of the Marcus McGee, or loser. Either way, winner or loser of the Marcus McGee versus Piotr Jan fight. Fantastic fight by Vinicius Oliveira, though. He looked incredible. He's my bantamweight prospect that I love right now, like I said. We move to Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori. I thought this was almost a 30-27 from Brendan Allen. If it wasn't, it was a 29-28. Just very easy fight from Brendan Allen. Fucking hair, man. There we go. It was a very easy fight for Brendan Allen outside of when he just like tarred it out in the first round. He literally has one moment minimum every fight where he tards out entirely and just completely just almost loses the fight for himself. But like I've said, I think in the prediction video, Marvin Vettori may be unfinishable, but he can't finish anyone, or he doesn't understand that he can if he would just put on pressure and just attack. Because he's unfinishable. Marvin Vettori is unfinishable, and if he either fought like Dricus or, Hyder Emil or something like that, just a guy who just, or Vinicius Oliveira, for example, he would just get finishes. And he would be unfinishable. Look at his block. He only took damage. Like, he only cuts. He doesn't ever get rocked or go down. Like, Marvin Vettori is the ultimate blockhead, and it's amazing. I love watching him fight, and I just wish he would fight with more of a pace, like Dricus or Vinicius Oliveira, or just one of those guys. Brendan Allen looked really good. I feel bad for Vettori, all things considered with what happened with his family. Or his brother. Brendan Allen looked good. Give him a nice little step up in competition, but nothing too crazy, because he'll lose. Nikolai Veretnikov defeating Francisco Prado by decision. Prado, if he wasn't a literal... He's the size of a flyweight, man. He has the frame of a flyweight. He is 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. That is me, by the way. I'm 5'7" with a 69-inch reach, pretty much. And I'm a flyweight. Yeah, Francisco Prado is a tiny man, and he's competing at welterweight. He's way too small to be competing at welterweight. He had the skill advantage, you could tell, but Francisco Prado, well, not the complete skill advantage. The kicks and everything were giving him problems at first, but Prado started to land pretty heavy on Veretnikov throughout the second and third rounds, but it wasn't enough. Every time he got a good little, positional advantage, Veretnikov just used his strength and size and just outframed him and threw him off. No cap. It was a very tough fight for Veretnikov. I wouldn't see why giving him a step up would work out for him, but maybe give him like a Robert Valentine stepping down from 185 down to 170. If they don't cut him, which wouldn't surprise me. They probably should. Speaking of Robert Valentine, we're moving up to the middleweight division. Atiba Gautier defeating Robert Valentine by round 1 KO. This was a very impressive performance by Atiba Gautier. He didn't just go insane, blasting Robert Valentine with crazy shots, swinging wild like we expect from a Francis Ngannou prototype-esque guy from 185. This guy threw with real precise shots. He stayed calm and stayed behind his guard, threw from his guard, didn't overextend very often, threw shots with real precise but strong power. Man, powerful shots. He looked really good in this fight. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to fight again pretty fucking soon. I think we should have him in the cage again very soon, or octagon again very soon. I would love to see him fighting Azamat Bakoyev, the winner of Torres Finney versus Azamat Bakoyev. Book him against that right now. That's what I want. Impressive performance from him though. I love that fight though. That's the fight we got to book. Moving on to Islam Dulatov defeating Adam Fugitt. By the way, that was a perfect pick by us. I think it was our only perfect of the night, but we got a couple of the other ones semi-perfect. Islam Dulatov knocking out Adam Fugitt In round number 1, we picked round number 2 for the knockout, but we did pick him to knock him out. Dulatov looked really good, serious power on him. He knocked him out, but then with the ground and pound follow-ups, woke him back up. Very impressive knockout by Dulatov. Fugit looked like he did not belong in the cage with him at all, and I would like to see Dulatov take a slight step up. I don't want to see anything too crazy. He looked good, but I do want to see him against a couple other guys around this level. Just maybe a slight step up instead. Like not this exact level. Anyways, moving to Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. We got a submission in round number 1 from Jimmy Crute. And I can't even remember what he got him with. He submitted him. I didn't pay attention to this fight. It was a fun fight overall. They scrapped and then it got dropped into I have no clue. No clue. I'm a casual. It doesn't matter. It was a bad fight at light heavyweight between unranked fighters, so I don't really care all that much. But yeah. Speaking of bad, unranked, big, fat, tubby dudes, we've got Ryan Spann versus Lucas Bredsky, or Breadsticks as I like to call him. We had a Ryan Spann guillotine in round number 1. We got the round number 1 right, but we didn't get the submission right. I would count the submission more than getting the round right. It was a good finish from Ryan Spann, but again, he looked real shit on the feet. You can tell this dude does not train much, man. He looked better, more in shape than he was for his first heavyweight fight. I will give him that. He looked a lot better in shape. But he looked like dog shit with his striking on the feet. Like, it was bad. His grappling is okay. His takedown was alright. Getting the guillotine after the stand up wasn't. It was a good guillotine. Cut Bresky from the sport, please. I'm so done with seeing this guy lose over and over to every single guy he fights. Other than randomly Walter Walker on Walter's debut, though. Ryan Spann, you want to fight against a guy who never wins. We're not giving you a huge step up. You literally just lost to Where's Waldo. You know what? Feed him to Walter Walker. They're both grapplers, apparently. Let's see who's the better heavyweight grappler. Moving down to the middleweight division, we've got Bruno Fajita. Jesus. Bruno Fajita defeating Jackson McVeigh by submission, round number 1. It was a good armbar. I remember this one. See, I remember the fights that were actually like good and fun. Nah, the Crute fight was good. I just cannot remember it for the life of me. McVeigh getting a armbarred in round number 1. I did think this could happen. Bruno Fajita's ground game is very good. He was cracking McVeigh on the feet, but McVeigh gave him a little bit of trouble, just enough trouble for him to. Or I actually can't remember if he actually gave him trouble or not. But Bruno Fajita gets him down to the ground, arm bars him. Impressive performance by Fajita. It was very expected for him to get him out of there in round number 1 because this was a debuting guy against Bruno Fajita, who has knocked out Gregory fucking Rodriguez, who is like the biggest middleweight I've ever seen in my life. And Bruno Ferreira has a massive size disadvantage in that, and he did in this as well, so I expected him to get McVeigh out of here quick, even as a massive size disadvantage. Him debuting with that, he just didn't have the skill level. You could see it in there, man. He was nowhere near. He should not have been in the UFC. Speaking of shouldn't be in the UFC, Carly Giudice versus Nicole Cagliari. Nicole Cagliari is who I'm talking about. Shouldn't be in the UFC. Carly Giudice actually looks like a decent female prospect. I think this girl deserves to be in the UFC, unlike the other girl I'm talking about, Nicole Cagliari. Giudice knocking her out with some very good striking throughout the entire fight. I thought that Carly Giudice's striking looked very impressive. She was crisp, always landing in combination, never just really single shotting outside of her jab or a kick. Incredible performance from her, honestly. I'm highly impressed. Some of these, like I've said, man, these girl fighters are putting on better performances, striking wise at least, than some of these other men fights, which is kind of crazy. I said it. These women fighters are in their men's 2000s era, where they're kind of they have one single skill set, but they're very good at it. And Giudice is very good at striking. She did a great job at stopping the takedowns. She only got taken down once, but they didn't even count it on the UFC stats, so she didn't get taken down. Overall, this was a fantastic card. Like I said, guys, join my Tapology. You guys can win money just by making fight picks. I want you guys to be able to interact. Thank you so much for getting me to 100 subscribers. I really appreciate that. I'm honored. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. That's $100 to whoever wins the fight picks thing weekly. So that's really good money for free just for joining a website and not doing anything other than clicking fight picks and joining my group. You don't have to pay anything. Anyways, the link for that is tapology.com/groups/2048. You can join. As soon as I see it, I check this daily, once a day minimum, and it's normally at the end of the day for me, and I'm an Eastern scheduled person in the U.S., so it's 3:30 a.m. right now for me. But yeah, I'll join you as soon as I find you. This is just my account, my second account. I just do this to show that the thing is open and I have requests here. Yeah, join the group. You can make money. Have fun. Enjoy the group, or enjoy the fights. I mean, this was an incredible fight card outside of, moments and the price of what the main card was, and the fact that it was a pay-per-view. I will see you guys next week for UFC. UFC Abu Dhabi. Oh man, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a great card, boys. UFC Abu Dhabi. We've got some great fights on this card. I can't wait for this one. So I'll see you guys for that fight card. That starts our official fight companions. Be hyped about it. Come join in. I know that you guys are all probably just gonna leave to go watch MMA Guru, but that's fine with me. I don't care. Just be in my chat until then. I don't give a shit. I'll be his waiting room. I don't mind. Leave me after that. But enjoy the fights, guys. I will be live with predictions Wednesday. Yeah. Bye. Like, comment, subscribe. That makes the money go up eventually when I'm monetized, so keep doing it.